Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Days. I'm Wanda. Today I had someone ask that I do a video on 10 prep items, food items that procrastinators could get really quickly and store up. With everything that's going on in the world today and all, it's possible at some point that we might have to stay put for a few days. That means if you had to stay home, do you have the means to eat something for, say, a week? That's the point of this video, to have enough to stay home for a month. Okay? So we're not sure how long you might have to stay home, but if you had to, what's the point? Do you have the food it needs? So these are 10 prep items, not necessarily an item, but a category of items with some of them that we're going to talk about. Now, number one is water. I would have some type of water at your house. Don't depend on those faucets to work if you're in town. Have some type of water stored. It's also a good idea to have juices, and if you can afford it, I guess soft drinks and whatever. Kool-Aid, but you gotta have water. Whatever you can get, like drink boxes, anything, but look at the dates and get them longer out than just a week. You know, make sure the date's at least 6 months out, because you may not need them for a while, but it's good to have them on hand, and always check your dates and rotate out. That would be my thoughts on water and juices, because most of them probably a year would be good. So you want to buy up some. This is February 2020. I would say look at the dates, get at least 6 months out, if not a year out if you can. Some of them may be 2 years out. If it is, great. But always, when you redo your shelves, look at the dates, bring the older ones up, put the newest you just bought with the last date in the back. That's how I rotate everything. So the first thing I would think is have something to drink, some way, shape, or form. And if you're on a well or you have a way to get water out of the ground or whatever, then keep something like Kool-Aids, instant coffees, hot chocolate, anything, so that you have a variety. If you don't have a well and things, but you are depending on bottled water, check for how many bottles of water per person you need per day. And remember, sometimes you need water for baths, and you're not going to be taking a bath, a shower like normal, so think about just washing up. Thinking about hygiene, constantly needing to cleanse your hands, things like that. You're going to need some water, just saying. The second item I would say would be canned goods. Okay, you can see behind me I've got this type canned goods because Danny and I grow a garden and we have a lot of canned goods. This is a small portion of what we have. We have a lot in our cellar. So this type canned good is great if you grow gardens and stuff, then you have your canned goods. But if you don't, you're a procrastinator. That's what this is about. You don't have a garden. You don't have this. You need some canned goods. Go to your local store, buy up cans of beans, corn, hey, even Chef Boyardee. It don't sound too appetizing, but if you're hungry, Chef Boyardee has some meat in it. Maybe a piece, I don't know. Canned chicken, canned tuna, beef stew, any kind of soups. All these things would serve as your canned goods. They also do canned fruits, and you can buy all kinds of canned fruits. So anything in a can, and check the dates. So the second group of things would be your canned items, your fruits and your veggies. The third thing would be dried goods. This can include a variety of things, and it would give you a variety of things to eat. Lots of people think beans and rice. Okay, you're going to really get tired of beans and rice, okay? Dried goods could be oatmeal, grits, cream of wheat, popcorn, your dried beans of all varieties, your dried fruits, potatoes, instant potatoes. All those things could come under this dried variety, because you can buy these in the store anytime and you can store these up. So don't limit yourself to just buying a can of something. Look for things that are dried that that will come back. You can rehydrate them with water. And again, if you're going to do this type stuff, make sure you have the water to go with it. Don't buy a bunch of boxes of oatmeal, the instant oatmeal, and then the day comes you need it and you don't have but one bottle of water for the day and you need part of it for your oatmeal. You got to rethink that, okay? Have enough water for drinking water to rehydrate anything that you're going to be cooking. The flour, I usually oven can a lot of my flour. Now, you can vacuum seal it, but lots of times the vacuum sealer will suck some flour up and it won't seal. So oven canning is really safer for flour, but grits and cornmeal can be vacuum sealed. The third items would be your dried goods, but let's go to the fourth items, which would be your rice and your quinoa and things like that. So those type things are really good. Your white rice lasts a long, long time. You can buy it, store it. If it don't get wet or damaged, rice lasts a long time. White rice, it's been bleached and all that junk. Basically no nutrition, but it's a filler. You can buy quinoa, you can buy brown rice. There's other things that you can get, and some of those have oils in them. They do not store as long, so always rotate, rotate, rotate. So the fourth category would be rice, quinoa, and other things that would go in as fillers. The fifth thing, peanut butter. You always need protein, and sometimes you can just take a jar of peanut butter, take a spoon, and put it in your mouth and eat it. One spoon would give you some energy at that point. You don't have to add nothing to it. It's open a jar and eat it off the spoon. If you have crackers or bread or whatever, then yes, make you a sandwich, peanut butter crackers, whatever, but you can just eat it as is. And when you can find an item that is as is, that means you don't have to store anything else with it. One thing with peanut butter, you can get it in a powdered form, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. I'm talking about a jar of peanut butter that you open up, take a spoon, and just eat it. One of my favorite ways to eat peanut butter. Number 6 would be hard candy. Okay, you're thinking, oh man, I love candy. Well, you need some type of sugar. And if you do not have this, I have jelly. Jelly is our sugar fix. I have plenty of jelly. I have lots of fruits and stuff, so that is our sugar fix. But if you do not, and you are a procrastinator, you need to do some hard candy of some sort. I've seen in the past that a friend, when he opened up one of his 20-year buckets that he had sealed, he had the Dum Dum suckers vacuum sealed in there. And I said, why the suckers? And he said, because you need a sugar fix. So anything that you can find that's hard candy, it could be any type of hard candy, and preferably something that you like, but don't eat it now. Put it up, keep it dry, keep it where it won't melt, that sort of thing, because candies will melt sometimes. So you may have to put them into seal them into something, but keep them in a safe, dry, cool place. Hard candy for a sugar fix. Number 7, powdered items. Anything powdered. And again, you're going to need water. Just keep adding the water to it. That's what I'm all about, is you got to have water. But you can get powdered milk, powdered eggs, powdered peanut butter, like I mentioned earlier. You can get powdered honey. These things can be added in. So if I was going to make something and I didn't have a sweetener, you can throw that powdered honey into it. You can buy all kinds of things powdered now. One of the companies that we just became an affiliate with is My Patriot Supply. They have these powdered items. Danny and I don't do a lot of freeze-dried foods, but the powdered individual items like this is what we use for long-term storage. That way, if we had to have something, if we run out of this, we are not as likely to run out of the powdered items as fast. So anything powdered would be the next item. Salt. Some people say it's the number one thing. You can use salt as a bartering tool. If you've got salt stored and somebody needs it to make their food taste good, they'll about trade you anything to add a little bit of salt to their food. So you really need some salt of some sort. I would say add you a few extra boxes in your cabinet. Danny and I have stored bulk salt because we do intend to smoke some meat and use salt to cure meat. And so that is something that we have had on our homestead since the beginning, is bulk salt. Plus, I buy the boxes. You know, they're quick and easy in the kitchen. And when I run out, I've got the bulk. So salt of all kinds, whatever kind you need, make sure you have some type of salt. Number 9 would be a sweetener. Whatever kind of sweetener that you prefer, but honey, sugar, or if it's one of the fake ones, then it's fake. Use it too, whatever you can store. But a lot of the sweeteners, the fake sweeteners, come in packets or something. You can store that up. It'll give you a sweetener. But honey is natural. Honey will last a long, long time. Even if it gets hard, you can heat it and thin it out again. Honey's great. Sugar, we keep a supply of sugar here because we do a lot of canning. And I need some sugar for my fruits. I do a light syrup. I need a touch of sugar for that. I do jellies, so you have to have sugar to make the jellies. So we keep a bulk supply of sugar on hand at all times. But even if you're a procrastinator, a 10-pound bag of sugar would last you a good long time if you're only using a little bit in something occasionally and it helps you stretch it a little bit. Honey will last a good long time. So store up something to sweeten whatever you've got going on, because teas, if we were outside and I picked some of my herbs and made an herb tea, I like to have it sweetened, so I like the honey. So honey would add a touch to your herb tea and it gets you through the day. So you do want some type of sweetener, whether it's honey or sugar or your fake sweeteners, whichever you prefer. And number 10 would be seasonings. A lot of people don't think too much about seasonings, but sometimes if you can find some type of meat and you've got a chili mix or you've got a fajita mix or any of these type mixes, spaghetti, whatever, sometimes those mixes flavor that meat and it hides the taste somewhat. Danny and I have right here a lot of canned meat. Okay, that is simply canned in water and salt. And it's a little salt, it's not a lot. So when I open a can of chicken, it's just chicken. It's not really flavored. But I could take either any of these mixes and sprinkle it over and make it have a pop. At least it's a touch different. So I can open a jar of this meat, sprinkle on the seasonings, and add a touch of water, add a few veggies, and make a soup or chili or whatever out of my ground beef or whatever that I've got stashed here. If you buy canned meats like tuna and chicken and those type things that are in cans in the store, sometimes you would get tired of opening a can of chicken and just eating chicken. You know, you might want a little bit of a flavor to it, and this is the best way to do it. Any type of seasonings. And some of your seasonings, if you buy individual seasonings, are herbs that are good to use as a medicinal thing. So you get dual purposes with some of these herbs. So keep that in mind and keep some seasonings on hand of some sort. So guys, I hope this has helped you a little bit if you're a procrastinator to have an idea of what to have on hand that would give you something to eat. Anything that you can buy that you can eat that you don't have to do anything to other than heat up is perfect. If I was starting out, this was what Danny and I did. We sat down and we thought, if we did not have this, what would we do? So first off, we would go grab the canned stuff, the dried fruits and veggies, the canned fruits and veggies, all this stuff, the canned meats. That's what I would start out with. Then I would, and definitely your water. From there, it's your preference. If you store up candy bars and Cheetos and that sort of thing, they probably would last, but you're not going to have too much nutrition there. You can store those things for a snack. That's great to have something for a snack, but they will run out eventually unless you store a lot and got a lot of space for it. So think about your space, think about your personal preferences and things that you like, and things that would store easily for you and not take up too much room. Check the dates, rotate out if you don't use them. And guys, don't be a procrastinator. Stop at the store and buy $10 to $20 worth a week of something to stash up so that you have a supply of something to eat in case you have to stay home for a week or two. That's my thoughts for today, and we hope you got a little bit out of it, and we'll talk to you later from Crazy Days.